Oh, God. Yes, I do have some things to talk about, guys. My name is Alexis Fulton, and I am 22 years old. Mental health is something that I definitely think in our generation is frowned upon. I don't feel like it's acknowledged enough. I think it's super prevalent. People need to pay more attention to it. Mental health definitely runs in my family. I think it's something that I never really acknowledged for a long time in life. I don't even think that I necessarily acknowledge it within myself now, to the extent that I should. I so my like family on one side has like is all bipolar, the other side is super anxiety ridden, and I smoke weed to cope with it, and I feel like that's just how I always dealt with it. I notice that when I don't smoke sometimes that like I'm like unable to like focus or get things done, or like my mood shift like are like pretty extreme. When I was younger, I never like my mom always wanted to take me to like see a therapist, and she always like she gave me the tools that I needed if I needed them to pick them up. But I never wanted to see a therapist. I never wanted to talk to anybody. For me, it was like, why would I talk to some random person about my life when they don't know me? And then you realize that that's the whole point of it, for them not to know you so that they can be a third party in your life. That makes sense. I have not. But that's because I haven't gone to I haven't sat down and talked to like a psychiatrist. I'm sure they would be like, they would give me something. Maybe not something worth putting me on drugs for, but definitely something to address, and maybe like finding like natural ways to like cope with it. Or because I just do. So they don't stop sometimes to actually like process things. And I feel like that's definitely what they would help me do. So when I started taking care of my grandfather, and I was going through like a stage where like I had went through a stage where I was drinking a lot, like binge drinking, just literally just like, I mean, still getting things done, but being very reckless, 100%. And just when I had to start taking care of my grandfather, he had stage 4 liver cancer. I like needed to stop drinking, of course. And once I realized, like, then I was like, okay, I think that you have something going on. I think that you're like self medicating yourself 100%. But it's like I was going downhill. Like I was crashing cars. And maybe they weren't all necessarily like 100% alcohol related, but it definitely was all like me not paying attention, me like my mind being so in a whim, like my anxiety being through the roof. I was in a tunnel, and I definitely acknowledged that it was a problem. Yeah, for sure. My grandfather passing, or going through the process of passing, I was 20 years old being asked to take care of a grown man. Like my grandfather was my father figure in life, and so definitely like watching him deteriorate, like I went through a lot of acknowledgement about what I was doing to my body and how I was reacting to things, and how I was pushing away the people around me and losing opportunities left and right because I couldn't get a grasp on my anxiety, or my like I don't want to say anything because I haven't been diagnosed with anything, but like I said, like the mood switch is which is like related to like bipolar for sure. So I definitely acknowledge it, and am now like just taking steps. I think that just like removing certain people from my life and moving a certain way, and acknowledging like when I get super angry about things, like when I get mad, I get really mad, and I do stuff sometimes that's like not, not acceptable to society. So I have learned to like have self-control, if that's what you want to call it. Self-control and like self-acknowledgement on like where I'm at, and like instead of just like reacting to things, thinking about it for like long term. Because you see yourself every day. You're in your own world. Like when you wake up in the morning, you worry about how you're going to brush your teeth. Maybe you have other people to worry about, but you're still in your own world. And I feel like it's negatively output when people are like, "Oh, the world doesn't revolve around you," but it's like, no, but it does. Like it. I have to make sure that I'm okay, that I'm moving my way. So I don't think about any. Not that I don't think about other people and their opinions towards me, because clearly being in the media industry, like it's super prevalent that everybody like accepts me or likes me for what I'm doing or whatever the situation is. But it's still my world at the end of the day, because nobody else is walking in my shoes. So it's hard when you're so accustomed to things because you lived this life. Nobody else lived your life. Nobody went through the struggles that you went through. Nobody came out on the other side. Nobody is doing it but you. So why would I think that I'm doing wrong if not multiple people are saying it? That makes sense? Did I go off one with that? Because it's your world. And it's hard. Without people sometimes telling you that you're doing wrong, or that, you need help, or it's hard to acknowledge it when you're like, oh, I think I'm fine. I think I'm okay. I mean, I'm living. I'm still moving. I'm still working, and I may have breakdowns or may feel a certain way, but I'm still going, so I should be fine. I'm fine. And then some people, it takes that one person to be like, yo, you're not fine. You need help. And you're like, oh, shit. I guess I do. So, yeah. Ooh, so this is a hard one, because I definitely feel like there's certain people in the world that need that help, that hormone regulation, that body regulation, which medicine does give you. But I don't feel like medicine, it doesn't cure the problem, it just masks it. So I feel like I feel like both are needed to, maybe not necessarily both, because I feel like you can go a completely holistic way, but I also don't know the research behind that to even give that to you. But I feel like the most important thing is that you get to the root of the cause, because you can't just keep taking medicine to mask your issues. But that's what our medical world is made up of, is pharmaceutical drugs. And sometimes when you take one drug, it it helps you with this, but then it hurts this and this, and then you're damaging your body in other ways and stuff like that. But I definitely feel like some people need it, and it's okay to need it. It's crazy, because I was just my mom decided that she was going to not take a medicine that she was on, and that she was on for depression, and she just decided that she was going to stop cold turkey. And I just remember being like, what are you doing? You can't just stop cold turkey, because the medicine is in your body. You need to find a way to reduce your regimen of it, of course, and go about it the right way. But the fact that drugs can do that to you, I feel like is what turns me off to it. But yeah, people definitely need it, and it's okay to need help. But I feel like you should, like I said, find the root cause and work from there. Don't just work to mask it, to be normal, to be okay, to fit. Because what the fuck being normal? What the fuck is that? Who's really normal? What is normal? Do you know the definition of normal? I don't either. When I think of normal, I think of, this is so stupid, I think of that SpongeBob episode where he's circle and not square. And what the fuck is that? Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Fuck being normal.
And we're getting cut. Awesome.
Whenever I go into like any like anxiety mode, like my heart's beating out of my chest, I can't calm down, my mind's running. I'm religious and I pray. So I take a moment to sit down and just talk to God, just kind of get it all out, figure out like, like, hey, if you could help me out right now, please just let me know. Just come down and help me. But things that I do, definitely my work. I feel like that's something I dive into whenever I have a lot of anxiety. I just dive into more work. I feel like maybe it's not the best coping skill, because then I like I was saying earlier, that you should do is get to the root cause. I just kind of mask it, and that's my way of masking it. But really taking a moment, sometimes I don't realize I'm always around people. I'm always working. I'm always on the go. So when I can just take a moment to sit down and breathe and think about things, I really do. I'll sit to myself. I'll turn my phone off. I won't answer any phone. I just disappear for just give me 20 minutes. Usually it's all I will take. For a long time, a negative way that I dealt with it was with alcohol. 100%. I would literally everybody knew I was drinking, but I was never you would never see me super fucked up. I was never all over the place or doing dumb shit. I was a functional drunk. So that's how I was masking it. And then when I stopped drinking every day, I realized I was wow, there's so much that you can accomplish, and so many things that you can deal with. I always say to people that they should go through the pain and not go over it, because that's how you come out on the other side, is when you go through it. That's how you come out on the other side strong. But when you just, jump over it, then it doesn't go anywhere. I don't know. Maybe I feel like the people that have the issues don't like talking about it because it's been frowned upon for so long. You tell a man, we had this conversation, right? You tell a man when their boys grow up or be a man about it. Big boys don't cry, or whatever the situation is. And I feel like it's we are in the society, we're raised to not show people that you're weak and not ask for help, do it yourself. I want people want to be able to say oh, I did this all by myself, nobody helped me. But it's okay to have help. And that's why one of the biggest things, I always tell my close friends, there's no judgment. I'm here for you to talk to, and I may tell you how I feel about it, but no judgment whatsoever. And I feel if more people made safe havens like that, then more people would get through it. People would grow from it. It would it won't be so stigmatized as oh, you're a pussy or you're crazy because you need help. It's okay to need help. And that's something that I'm realizing too, that it's okay to need help. Because I was also raised, what are you doing crying? What is that? I didn't teach you to do that. That's what my grandfather used to tell me all the time. But, yeah. It's okay to need help. It's okay to need help. 100%. Can I say that again? It is okay to need help. And it's okay that you don't know what to do. You can't expect to know everything. I think that's another thing, that when people don't know something, they are automatically discouraged from it. But you're not supposed to know everything in the world. There's things that you need to be taught. There's things, coping skills, people that can help you. It's okay to need help. That's what I can say. And if you need help, hit me up and I can help you find help. I'm having a hard time, looking at one of the... I need help. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe just a little bit. No, I think it's super dope that you're bringing this to attention, because this is something in our like generation that if we can change for our kids, we can create so many amazing men and women that are compassionate, that are understanding, that understand that that everybody's not normal and people go through things and everybody's not the same and you can't just deal with everything in the same way. So I think that's super dope that you're acknowledging this. Hell yeah.
Appreciate it.